What did your parents do for a living?
My father, he's a marketer, and my mother, she's an ultrasound tech.
Did they want you to follow their footsteps or fields themselves?
No.
What was their reaction when you didn't go either of those routes and you went the music path?
My dad, he wanted to be a rapper, so he was all for it. But my mother, she didn't want me. She never wanted to be no rapper.
Why not?
I don't know. Last time I talked to her about it, she was kind of like the lifestyle they live or whatever. And, but I'm kind of a singer and a rapper. I'm going to classify myself as a singer. But, yeah.
Now, when it comes to your father, how far did he get musically?
He didn't really take it as serious as I have. Because I don't know, but I think it was because he had me, and it's just like responsibility. So it's like, I don't know.
Now, in the American society, financially, how would you describe your upbringing?
I describe it as middle class. Like, I had, like, every shoe I wanted, I got, and I had the clothes or whatever, but it wasn't like we were staying in no big house.
Now, was your household able to move up to a higher income group at some point as you were growing up, or did it just stay middle class?
It kind of stayed middle class.
Now, what was living in that financial class like? You kind of described a little bit of it.
I ain't gonna lie though, like younger days, like as a kid, it was like kind of struggle, you know what I'm saying? But as I started growing up, my parents started getting older, they started accumulating more money and stuff, so it was better living standards.
Do you remember what age or what grade maybe that turning point was when you noticed a difference?
I'd say probably like in high school.
So when you said it was more of a struggle, go ahead.
Well, as far as the struggle part and then going to middle class, it was like, I'd say probably like around second grade, third grade.
When you say the struggle, are we talking, to be a little bit more specific, lower middle class or poor?
It was just like kind of poor, like Section 8 apartments, like quick meal, dollar meals, like the little warm-up meals and ramen noodles and stuff,
Since you were able to experience both of these income groups in your life, what did you learn from this? What did this teach you, if anything?
It taught me to like go hard, cause ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Like ain't nobody give my parents nothing, so I know ain't nobody gonna give me nothing.
How were your parents financially able to move up to a higher class? Going from the struggle to middle class, what was it that took them?
Well, for my mother, she was practicing ultrasound, so she had to take tests, and then she kept taking the tests, and then when she passed, she was considered an ultrasound tech, so she was able to get the jobs she wanted. And then as far as my dad, he kept moving up in his job.
When it came to poor, Section 8, things of that nature, do you remember a worst moment of that class at that time? Was there a bottom point, perhaps, that you can remember?
No, I can't really remember.
Okay. Now, what age back then were you when you sought to earn money yourself?
I mean, I was always like making little plays and making money, but I started kind of really making money when I had got a job,
Your very first job.
Yeah, my very first job.
Now, before we talk about your very first job in depth, can you list all the jobs you ever had? Can you give me the resume?
Like
First job, second job, third job, if you had other jobs after that, in chronological order, if you remember.
All right, so, like, my first job was, like, McDonald's, typical. And then, like, my second job was Popeyes. And then my third job was, like, at this warehouse, clothing warehouse.
You said it's called the Golden Warehouse?
Nah, it was clothing warehouse.
Oh, clothing warehouse.
Yeah.
3 jobs, that's it?
Yeah.
Did the clothing warehouse have a name?
PVH. Like, it was a specific name, but I forgot it.
Okay. Now let's talk about your very first job.
Mm-hmm.
What did it start off as for you at McDonald's? What position?
I was a cook.
And how were you introduced to that job? Do you remember?
Some girls at my school was like, we could put you on at our job. And I was like, okay.
What school was this that you're referencing here?
Luella High School.
And what grade were you in at the time? Or what age?
I was about 17. Nah, I take that back. They told me about it when I was 17 in 11th grade, but then I didn't end up getting it till I was 17 in 12th grade.
Now, what was it like working at McDonald's like?
I mean, like, it kind of was hell. Like, it was a lot going on. It was a lot of drama stuff with, like, girls talking, and it was like dudes was, like, playing too much. Like, one time a dude burned me. I think it was on accident, but it was like, you know, you had to, like, change the little side things on the grill. So, but he willy-nilly with the thing, and it's like the grease, like, got on my arm. It ain't even burned me for real, but it's like, bro, like, you doing the most.
How long did you end up working there for? Rough estimate.
For about 4 months, 5 months.
And what happened? You ended up quitting or getting fired?
I ended up quitting because the lady was trying me, the manager, and then I knew I could find something else. So once I found something else, my bro Nick, that boy walked out. That boy was funny. That boy walked out, and then he didn't say nothing. But I wasn't gonna do him like that. I was like, I told her like this. I was like, Miss April, it was my first time quitting. I was like, I quit. And then my bro was right there. He started laughing. And I was like, yeah. And it felt, yeah, I don't know.
It felt what?
It felt kind of weird because I ain't never quit at nothing before. But I was like, I had to move on.
You quit at the end of your shift, in the middle of your shift?
In the middle of my shift.
In a dramatic way?
Oh, nah. I just put it to the side like, hey, I quit. I had already got another job. I was like, yeah, hey, I quit.
Now, you already seem to do this in a respectful manner, relatively speaking, but why not wait till you were done with your shift? Why in the middle of it?
Oh, me and Nick, we was trying to go record. But I had my business, but I had already had the other job, so I was like, I already knew I was gonna quit. So I was like, once Nick walked out, and he was spending the night over my house, so I was like, I'm finna walk out to him, I'm finna quit.
Felt like it was peer pressure at all?
Nah, that's my bro. We planned it. We said we gonna quit today. So, and she been trying me. So what I was like, yeah, I'm finna till I quit. And then, yeah.
But he quits before you. How long before you does he quit?
He quit like 30 minutes before me. Or like 10, 15 minutes. Something like that.
And when you use the phrase bro, are you talking biological or are you just using the phrase?
Nah, like, it's not biological. It's like my bro, though.
Okay. Now, what about the other jobs that you had? Let's talk about Popeyes. What was your position there?
Cook.
And how long did you end up working there for?
About 3 months.
Quit or got fired?
Quit. I ain't never got fired. I always quit.
What was your reason back then?
Nah, I had found something better.
And then the clothing warehouse. What was your position there? PVH?
I had a lot of positions, but the position before I left, I was a case sorter.
And how long did you work there for?
For about 4 months.
Quit or got fired?
Quit.
And what was your reason there?
Oh, I had moved to Texas with my mother.
Say that again, I'm sorry?
I had moved to Texas for a little while with my mother.
Ah, okay. What was the reason for the move?
It was too much going on.
All these jobs were in your hometown?
Yep.
And what hometown was that?
Nah, they weren't in my hometown. It was in the place where I was staying, Mcdonald.
All 3 jobs?
Yep.
Okay. And it sounds like you worked one job after the other. You never had 2 jobs at the same time?
Yeah, I did.
Which one?
I had the Popeyes and the clothing warehouse together for a little while.
Okay. Which came first? Popeyes.
What you mean?
Popeyes came first, then the clothing warehouse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And looking back, were any of the jobs tough?
Nah.
Looking back, were any of the jobs dangerous?
I mean, slick was like you could have burnt yourself bad and stuff like that, but no.
Did you see anybody get burned bad?
They one dude got burned your arm, but not for real.
Best thing about any of these jobs, if any?
I mean, it ain't really nothing that special, you know.
Worst thing about any of these jobs?
I had to say, like, the pay, like, they should pay people more, you know.
Do you remember what you were getting paid at the time?
Oh, yeah, the McDonald's, I was getting, like, $7.25. I wasn't making nothing.
Okay, at that time in your life, it was $7.25. What do you think you should have gotten paid for that job, if you could have it your way?
Back then, I should at least got 8 something.
Do you remember how much a weekly check was back then, or bi-weekly check?
A bi-weekly check would have been like 200 something.
At McDonald's?
Yeah, at McDonald's.
Any crazy stories with any of these jobs? Anything out of the norm that happened, other than what we talked about thus far? Maybe something you didn't mention.
Oh, it is. It is one job I had. It was at the warehouse. 2 dudes got to fighting, and then it was crazy because I'm over at my position doing my thing, but then I just see it. Everybody noticed them fighting, so we noticed them fighting, and I was like, bro, look over there, they fighting. And then we see them fighting. This is old man and this heavy set older dude, but it's an old man for real. So they fighting, but the old man, I don't forgot who picked up whatever it was. It was like a shovel or something. I don't know what it was. It was a metal rod. So they over here doing like this with the metal rod, and I'm like, these people, like they crazy, bro.
What ended up happening with that fight and that metal rod?
Like they ain't hit each other like with the metal rod, but like the old man, he had a fat knot on his head.
Were you ever under the influence of a drug while working a job?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, that first warehouse I worked at, that joint was ghetto, like dudes was smoking on break, all that. So I probably hit it like a couple times, you know. I smoked in that job.
Ever got caught?
Nah, I mean, nobody cared. Like, the supervisors be out there, they ain't smoke, but they'll be out there watching us smoke and then not say nothing.
And what were you smoking on back then?
Weed.
Did that make the job easier or harder? Smoking marijuana, being under the influence of it while you were working that job?
Well, at first, because if you don't really know what you're doing, but then and when I started knowing what I was doing with it, it was easy. It was just like a matter of like feeling good while I'm doing it.
Now, we've talked previously before, and you mentioned that you were addicted to marijuana.
Mm.
Are you still addicted to marijuana?
Yeah, I'm still addicted to marijuana. But one thing, I don't drink lean no more. I don't do no hard drugs.
You actually quit lean?
I quit lean.
Did you have an addiction to it?
I ain't had no addiction.
What got you to quit? Or why'd you quit, I should say?
I quit when, like, I found myself, like, spiritually. And then, like, I just started, like, thinking a different way. I'm like, man, that ain't good for me and what I got going on.
Now, when you say spiritually, do you follow a religion or you just consider yourself spiritual?
Well, I believe in both. Like, I believe in, like, the universe and I believe in one God, you know what I'm saying?
Is it a certain religion you follow?
I'm Muslim.
And when it comes to Islam, is it a certain branch or sect under Islam you follow?
My grandfather, he is a nation of Islam, but I mean, for me, I think I'm just Muslim. Like, I believe in Allah. I read parts of the Quran, you know. Like,
why Islam for you? Why the universe and one God?
well, my name, people that know my name, is like Arabic, so it's just my name, and with me growing up, my whole dad's side of the family was Muslim. And I just felt like that's the original religion that our people, like, should have followed or should follow.
When it came to your father, did you ever live under the same household as both of your parents, or was it always your father or your mother's place?
It was always my father or my mother's place. But I ain't gonna lie, like, my grandma and my grandpa, they helped raise me, and that's where I was most of the time with me being the younger, my younger stage. Like, Melba and Eddie B, like, they helped raise me for real.
Grandmother and grandfather on your father's side?
On my mother's side. But I ain't gonna lie, my grandma on my father's side helped raise me too. But I just always remember at my grandma and grandfather's house.
And when it came to your parents, they were never together?
At first, but like it didn't last. Like, I used to hear arguing, and I don't know, but they eventually broke up.
Were they ever technically married at one point?
Nah.
Do you know why they ended up breaking up?
It just didn't work out.
Do you remember what age you were?
I had to be like,
when they split?
I had to be like 8 or 7.
And did your mother follow a religion?
Yeah, she's Christian.
So for you, why, if your mother followed Christianity and your father followed Islam, why take after Islam?
Like I said, I felt like Christianity was forced on us. And like the people that came and took us from Africa and put us here, that like they made us become Christian. And because if you think about it, like, it's like a religion called Ifa too. So it was Ifa, and it was Islam, and like those are the main religions in Africa.
And when you say here, what are you referencing?
America.
Both of your parents shared their religions to you?
Yeah, like from a young age, like my grandma, she used to like make me pork chops, and that's the only pork thing I kind of used to eat. But one time my dad called me, he was like, yeah, like he was just talking to me. He was like, oh, what you ate? And I was like, oh, pork chop. He was like, oh, you keep eating that pork, I'ma whoop you. So that's when I was like, but for a long time they kept telling me like about the religion and stuff, and that's when I kind of started understanding at a young age, like, oh, I can't do certain things like this because I follow this religion. But it wasn't like a forced thing. Like, I had both sides trying to persuade me, but I just chose Islam.
The grandmother that served you pork, that was your mother's side?
Yeah.
Now, did this cause a rift at all between you and your mother, perhaps? The fact that you do take after Islam like your father, even though she tried to instill or persuade you under Christianity?
Like, it wasn't a real, but she kind of felt like, I don't know, she kind of felt like I wasn't going to take it serious, or like, I don't know, but she know dang well my grandpa take it serious, so like, you know.
And as you were growing up, you would do both traditions?
Yeah, I'd go to church, and like, when I was younger, I ain't go to the mosque like that, but I still like pray with my dad and my family and stuff.
Now, somebody watching this interview may say they understand why you quit lean, but why not marijuana?
Like I said, I'm addicted. Like, I might go without it, but then I might, like, it just feel boring without it. Like, when you're addicted to something and you don't have it, it just feel like not right without it.
Because when you were talking about lean, if I'm going to paraphrase you, you felt like it wasn't right spiritually.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's not right spiritually for marijuana, but the addiction has you caught up, so to speak? The addiction has you entangled, so to speak?
I mean, it's so, but it's like, marijuana is kind of like more natural, and it doesn't kill, so it's like, it's better. But it's still not a good thing, for real.
Is it something you want to quit? Even though you're addicted to it, is it something you would like to quit if you could have it your way?
I probably still wouldn't quit.
Now, I'm going back to my notes here and finding my place before we took a different path in this interview, so that will explain the pause here momentarily. Okay. We talked about the $7.25. I believe that was the price you mentioned, that you were making at McDonald's at the time, as far as your wage. Out of all three jobs, which one paid the best?
It had to be in the clothing warehouse.
And I was going to ask next, opposite end of the spectrum, which paid the worst? Is it safe to say McDonald's?
Yep.
Now, in this interview, you said the first warehouse. Did you work multiple warehouses?
Oh yeah, I worked like the very first one. It was like a crate warehouse, and then but the second one was the clothing. But I stayed at the clothing the longest one. That's why I mentioned that one.
When it comes to the crate warehouse, how long did you end up working there for?
For about 3 months.
And what was your role there?
I don't even know if it was a name for it, but it's like a dryer. You get on the dryer and you lift the crates.
And did you quit or get fired?
Quit.
And do you remember your reasoning back then?
Oh yeah, bro, that jump was like strenuous. Like, I ain't gonna lie. A nigga lost a testicle in that bit. Like that jump was crazy.
What do you mean? Can you shed some more light on that?
Like, bro was straining himself, lifting that stuff, and he lost a testicle. It was dead. That junk ain't funny, but like.
How did people know about that? Was it something he publicly was telling people that happened to him?
I don't know. I guess, like, I don't know.
Okay, so just so we're all on the same page here, you did McDonald's, you did Popeyes, you did the Crate Warehouse. Did the Crate Warehouse have a name?
IFCO.
And then you did the Clothing Warehouse. Was that the exact order?
Yeah, exactly.
So you had 4 jobs total.
Total.
When you were at McDonald's or you were at Popeyes, how would bad customers get treated?
I don't know. I was in the back.
Did it ever get disgusting working at either of those places?
Hell yeah, I do not eat meat. Like, y'all don't understand. Like, that junk is like fake, bro. That junk is like nasty, roaches, bugs, all that.
You saw roaches, you saw bugs on the food?
Not on the food, but like in the freezer and shit. Like,
the McDonald's or the Popeyes?
Both.
And when we're talking about roaches, are we talking about in Georgia those big palmetto bug looking things?
Yeah, probably like the water bugs, but still, y'all want to eat that? I know.
So where would you would see them in the freezer? You wouldn't see them on the food. They would just be like in a corner somewhere?
Yeah.
Dead, alive?
They'll run across there, like, sometimes they'd be alive.
Would you kill them?
Probably, yeah. I think I killed it. Like, I don't know. Not like that.
Did you ever bring it to management? Did you ever question management? Hey, why are there water bugs here? Why are there whatever else?
I feel like that wasn't my place. That's why I ain't never. That wasn't my place.
Even though you experienced that at McDonald's, you still were willing to do a fast food gig again at Popeyes after that?
Yeah, 'cause I was young. I was still in high school.
Now, even though you were a cook, even though you were in a warehouse, I don't know if it's possible, but did you ever shoot your shot with customers?
Nah.
Ever had customers shoot their shot with you?
Nah.
Ever dated someone in the workplace?
Nah.
What's your policy on that? Or what's your opinion on that?
I'm not hopping down though, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even work no more, but I'm not hopping down. So I probably would have did it before, but it wasn't nothing that caught my attention like that.
Some people do date coworkers and things of that nature, and some people are against it. I didn't know if you felt a certain way over that.
Nah, I'm for it, but she gotta be like showing me signs. I don't just hop down.
Now, you mentioned that you and your bro wanted to record music when you guys were at McDonald's.
Yeah.
How far along with music were you during any of these jobs?
All right, so like in McDonald's and Popeyes, like it wasn't how I wanted it to go. Like it wasn't, but I had a buzz like as far as my school. You know what I'm saying?
Would you get recognized or noticed at any of these jobs as a recording artist?
Nah. Oh no, I take that back. Like, but it wasn't like on no random. It was like some dudes from my school, and then like it was like some dudes so-called ops or whatever. Back then, they pulled up to my job like the McDonald's, and then what it was like, you know how dudes like they would just be like obsessed. So I come from the back, and they go like, oh, they go right there, but then they ain't do nothing. They just sitting in the lobby, so they just fans. You know what I'm saying?
Eventually, they left on their own?
I don't know. I left. And they ain't come after me, none of that.
Did you slip through the back, or did you confront them on your way?
I walked out the front door.
Right in front of them?
Right in front of them. And they was like, oh, there go Rarri.
Now, technically, when you had quit McDonald's, would you say you quit because of music, per se, or no?
Nah, I just...
I know
like
you said
I told you.
I know you said you had another job, but then you said you wanted to record with your bro or something of that nature.
Oh, so, yeah, that night.
So I don't know if you meant you did have another job, but you wanted to... I didn't know if music was the ultimate reason or if it was, in fact, the other job.
Nah, it was the other job. We left early because we was just, let's go record, like, forget this job.
Did you ever quit any of these jobs because of music?
Like, nah, not really.
Because you worked at McDonald's, because you worked at Popeyes, and I know you said it's disgusting, but I don't know if there's other things you may indulge in over there. Do you eat at those establishments at all? Not those particular ones you worked at, but a McDonald's, a Popeyes.
Like now, like I think I told you, like I'm pescatarian now, so like only thing I eat is like fish and shrimp and fruit and vegetables. Yeah, I don't eat no meat.
You did tell me that off camera, but these locations that you mentioned may offer some of those items there.
No, I still don't eat there.
If you could, would you ever consider owning any of the jobs you worked at? If you had the ability or the opportunity, if it was a perfect world?
This is what I do. Like, I get rich, I make some clothes, and then have my own warehouse. You know what I'm saying? But I run it right. These folks, they be having their warehouse, don't be running it right.
Based off what you've seen and what you've experienced, you know exactly how to run it?
Yeah, like, yeah.
Or you would know what to do that wasn't being done?
I would know what to do.
And for time reference, it's November 2021 now.